name is Brendan, and over the past year, the Delight Cafe team and I have traveled across the U.S. researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram, lab-tested, all-natural, water-soluble hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice, wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, and your delight when you need it most.
Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing today? My name is Gavin Kerr, and I am here with the giving a Hawaiian feel to you today with that shirt going on. I dig it. You just need like a beige hat. You got like a beige hat. We got Hawaiian Brandon on today. How's everybody doing? This is Java Delight. It is Monday morning. You don't have.
I'm like, I don't want to walk away, but I'm like, I know I have a beige hat. Where did I put it? Like, where is my beige hat?
Yeah, like some kind of like a straw or like a fedora kind of hat deal. I could see you wearing that with that shirt.
The fedora I have behind me is just a little too dark, I think. So,
yeah.
It'd be one of those where I'm like, So, good morning, Gavin. And I also wore it because you and I went out yesterday and got some sun. I wanted to wear something to look very pretty with my tan. I
got some sun too. I did have sunscreen on this time though, instead of just letting myself roast and burn. I thought I was doing well on keeping hydrated and keeping lotion and everything on. It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. And I was trying to avoid the hose, so I was rubbing all the lotion on the skin. But I started peeling on my right arm. And in all honesty, peeling wouldn't bother me if I did it all in one giant piece like a lizard. Like that, then I would enjoy it. You ever watch Malcolm in the Middle?
Oh, yeah. I used to watch that show all the time back in the day.
Remember when Reese fell asleep outside and his entire body head to toe was sunburned?
Yeah.
And he peeled it all off and just hung it on a hanger? Like, if I could do that, maybe not put it on a hanger, but if I could shed all of my skin at once like that in just one giant piece, I feel like I would enjoy the process a lot more.
Think that you and your snake could compete with each other to have that? Like, see if you and your snake can have that go, like, just shed you and him at the same time.
See who could shed first, because I would shed the biggest. I'm bigger than my snake, obviously.
No. Like who? Like you guys both shed at the same time. It's like like you guys sync up your shedding cycles.
Oh, kind of like how like menstrual cycles sync up. We sync up shedding cycles.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that how you do it?
I'm not, as far as I'm concerned right now, because I don't shed in one piece. I'm all flaky, but it's just my one arm. Everything else is fine.
I don't shed in one piece. I'm flaky. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. That is hilarious. So, Gavin, tell us a little bit about your weekend. What'd you get into? What'd you do? How you doing?
This weekend I had a kick-ass show at karaoke. on Saturday night at Teams. Oh my God, it was awesome. I had so many people there. I think I only sang 2 or 3 songs for the entire
Really?
3 hours that I was there. Yeah. Yeah, like I really, and I started probably 15 minutes early too. There was just so many people singing. I think we had like 2 or 3 birthday parties there. 2 anniversaries were there. There was like a 30-year-old anniversary and then like a 60-some anniversary. I had just people coming up and singing with me. They had me singing with them for some duets and stuff. It was an absolute blast. I ended up stopped taking song requests probably just over an hour before I was supposed to end the show because I had such a long list of singers coming up. Yeah.
That's pretty stinking cool, buddy. What did you sing?
I sang. Oh, what did I sing? Oh, I sang "Jump in Line," which jump in the line, rock your body in time. Okay, I believe you. That was the first song I sang. That got people going. All right. Don't make that face. That got people up and dancing, and like they were clapping. People were loving that song. You ever seen a table of big burly bearded Harley Davidson biker men clapping along? Okay, I believe you. Like that's what my experience was with that song. I was all for it.
I bet that would be that. See, that's what you should be having on your Snapchats and that, because I watch your stuff. You know, that would be hysterical. You just like all of a sudden, like you have like these burly men just going, "It's in the line."
Yeah,
like I would. That is what I want to see. Like, it's too funny.
I did that song. I sang "Mr. Brightside" with a couple of the girls there. One of the waitresses and her decently intoxicated friend wanted to sing, but they wanted me to sing with them, so I did that. And then I sang something else by myself. I can't remember what it was. But then I also sang "My Shot" from Hamilton. I always like to do that when I have a really awesome crowd.
That's a good one. That's a good one too. And you have the voice for it, so it works out well.
Yeah.
Works out well. What do you have on tap this week? This week. You and I have a busy week next week.
Yeah. This is a busy week for me. I'm actually gonna break a rule and go on my phone really quick, check my schedule, because I got a lot of stuff this week. So today I got a date today, actually. I'm going to be making vegan pizzas. I'm very confused on how that's going to work with the cheese and the meat and everything, but we're going to figure it out, and it's going to be tasty, and I'm sure I'm going to love it. So I'm going to do that. Today's Monday. I get a haircut today. How much hair? I don't know. But I'm going to be cutting some hairs.
I've never seen somebody so excited for their haircut.
Oh, no. I got a barber, all right? Barber Dre. Barber Dre is my man, okay? He's the only person that I go to get my hair cut because he knows how to cut my hair. Because no one can tell because I always just wake up and put my hat on and then get on the show. But like if you go on my Instagram, my Facebook, you'll know I have stupid curly hair. Like all my Mexican went straight to my hair. That's where it's at. It's so curly. And great clips. Those little white girls with great clips. They don't know how to cut my hair. They don't know what they're doing. It's all uneven and all messed up. No. I went all throughout Cleveland looking for a black barbershop, and I found Dre, and he's been so good to me. I only go to him. I go to him every couple months, and he shapes me up. He trims me up. If I got a special occasion, like if I got a music video or something going on or a photo shoot, then he'll do this thing with a card where like he'll line me up perfectly and give me like some extra color and everything. I love going to Dre. He's my man. I love him.
I have to be honest. My barber shaves my head. And trims my beard. And she is absolutely amazing. And she literally tries to make me laugh the entire time because she's like, because I'm always making faces, I'm doing stuff. And if you've never had a hot shave with a like straight razor and you're not bald, like I'm like sitting there like, like she's just shaving me. Like, but here's the other thing. I will admit, The reason I don't get like shave from the barber, like, once a week or every 2 weeks, it's like $30 to get a shave, to get trimmed up and cleaned up and all that. And I'm sitting there going, that's $30 and I'm bald. I could shave my own head with ease and just trim things up. So I do. I go once a month and let her clean me up. And I haven't gone in a while. And we have next week, you and I are in Vegas and presenting. So I got workouts, dieting, and making sure I give myself 7 days of being my best me so I can be ready to present and look like a decent human being again.
Yep. I do the straight razor at home. When I had the goatee for a little bit, like Dre, he would clean that all up for me, and like he always gets my sideburns and does the straight razor down the back of my neck and everything. But I got my own little routine where I put on Sweeney Todd and I lay my towels out and everything, and I use a straight razor on myself while I shave.
Is Sweeney Todd essential when you're shaving?
Oh yeah, oh yes. It really is. It gets me in the mindset for the closest shave of my life. Yeah.
I have no idea where to go with that because look, on mine, I don't have a special song or anything. I don't even have an artist I listen to. I shave in the shower because it saves me cleanup time. Yeah. I'm just slowly, just cut my head. Easy. Too funny. It honestly, I think you're gonna have a good haircut. Or were you getting it shaved off? Like, can we shave your head?
No, I'm not gonna be shaving my head. I still like my hair, so I'm gonna keep it for now. If it decides to one day all fall out, which I hope doesn't happen because I do enjoy my hair, then it will be shaved and you can see it then. But on Tuesday and Friday, I'm doing work for the LGBT community at the Fantasy. I'm going to be doing a lot of weed whacking, a lot of landscape work this time. I don't think much of any kind of construction on the inside of the building. On the 16th, Wednesday, I have a meeting with this guy that I met at karaoke on Friday at Hatfield's named Adamo. And Adamo apparently has a band. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but I did look him up. Everything's legit. He's got a band that travels that I'm going to be auditioning for to do backup vocals and play guitar for. I got to fill in when they do festivals and stuff. He does that. He also does a paranormal activity show where he goes into abandoned and haunted places, mostly in Ohio. And does like films there and stuff. So I'm going to be checking that out too. That sounds pretty awesome. But I found him at karaoke. I was singing. He came up to me. He's all like, you're young, you're attractive, you're talented. I like your energy. I want to meet you. Here's my business card. I'm like, oh snap. I just want to sing karaoke, but yeah, let's do it. I just want to entertain people. I'm down with that.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
Thursday, I have a Between the Notes with Raven Black. I got that. That'll be shots on Thursday, but then I'll probably post it. I'll probably post it on the 19th. Speaking of the 19th, I have rehearsal with my little sister in the morning, and then after that, I'm going to drive to Columbus. I'm going to be doing my Nightmare Combat, that thing that I was freaking out about months ago. I'm going to go have real military-grade weapons that have been modified for intense, crazy laser tag to kill monsters. It's going to be this huge. I'm so stoked for that. And then I have karaoke after that at Team, so that's going to be a packed day. And then Sunday is Father's Day, and I'm just gonna J chill for that day. Well, and then we go to Vegas.
We're leaving before that.
Oh, we're leaving the 20th? I thought we were leaving the 21st.
No, we have to be there the 21st.
Oh, well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing I don't have anything planned for Sunday then.
I literally wrote this in emails and everything. I love everything. I love you too. So, what are you excited about? What are you grateful for today? Guys, do us a favor. Write what you're excited about, what you're grateful for, whether it's the weekend or upcoming week. I have Facebook going in the background showing me our show as well so I could see what's going on. And I people are writing comments, but nothing is coming through. So Jaybird and people on like Facebook, please know. I do see your comment on Facebook, but there's none here, and I don't know why it's not shifting over. But please know we are seeing it. I did see it there, and I wanted to wish you guys the best and say I hope you're doing well. Jaybird, thank you for tuning in today and all that, and hello to everybody. So, Gavin, talk to me, my friend. What are you grateful for? What are you excited about? And how? Edward Scissorhand shaving. Funny. Tell us what you're excited about, what you're grateful for, and what you're gonna be doing to influence and change your world this week.
I mean, I just went through my whole schedule, man. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that I have, because most of these plans that I have going on are with people that I've either just met or people that I have had in my life for quite a long time. So I'm very grateful for the friends that I've kept and the ones that I'm continuing to make. And then I'm extremely grateful for all the crazy and cool experiences and opportunities that I've been given in life and that I continue to get.
Very well said. Very well said. I am grateful for people like you, people like Mandy Atterbury. Hi guys, who missed me? We all did. I'm grateful for people like Brett Gordon, who, you know, he has girl power and feminine energy. He is just one of those people that he brings it all the time, even when he's sick. Jessica Dugas, I want to give a shout out to you. I appreciate you very much. Everything you're doing. Jaybird, saw you there. This one made me laugh. Just the boom shakalaka. All I could think was like NBA Jam, old school time. I do have to let everybody know I got to meet my long lost Care Bear twin on the Dugas show this morning on the Project Joy show. Jessica Dugas had me jump on in a Care Bear onesie, say hello to everybody, and she had on TikTok Tim. We named him that today, apparently, on air. But because it just flows. TikTok Tim. He was just one of these people that came in. He was really freaking cool. He had this great energy about him. And at the end of the day, he was someone that I was very grateful that I got to meet. He just is, he lit up the screen. And I mean that like in complete like goodness. Like he just came on, he was smiling, he was ready to do stuff, he was ready to get excited with people and just completely share positivity. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. So I have something to show you, Gavin.
Yeah.
Tim Hodges. All right. So this weekend, it's been an interesting weekend. And I say that as in, let me pull this here. And I'm going to pull something up on the screen. And I didn't even tell you about this because you and I went to the beach yesterday.
We did. We had a great time at the beach yesterday. But really quick, I'd like to make an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you forgot, for the most part, at least where we are here in Cleveland, Ohio, COVID is over. And when you're back out in public, you're not having wine in your living room with your girlfriends anymore. Oh my God. I'm not one to eavesdrop. I'm not like a huge like people watcher. Well, no. Because these people were speaking loud and clear, so it was kind of hard not to hear them and the things they were talking about. We had this woman talking about in graphic detail her trip to the gynecologist, and we had another person talking about how they didn't understand Jamaican culture and why this guy who just met him was like kissing on their cheeks and stuff when saying hi, like just all kinds of crazy.
It was. I have to be honest, it was one of the weirdest effing things I've been a part of. Like, it's seriously, you and I were sitting there and
you're trying to like take a nap or read. I'm playing chess on my phone. I've been on a big chess kick lately. And all I hear is just the clear as day because she's facing us too. She was in our direction.
Oh my God.
Talking about it.
Young girl. Young isn't even like.
Probably like, yeah, I was going to say like 23, 24.
That's exactly where I was going. She literally did not stop talking to her friend, complaining. And you and I are sitting there going, there's a level of like professionalism in public, and it's just being respectful to others. She got into I learned more about how a gynecologist works than I did being married and engaged before. Like this woman, and we're in public. Gavin and I are sitting there, and like we're not trying to eavesdrop, and we're tapping each other. Like, did you hear that? And we were playing a game. Like, all right, listen to the conversations around you and see what the weirdest thing you can hear is.
Yeah.
And we both heard her, and we both just sat there going. Like Gavin went up to go to the bathroom and she got even more vulgar. And I'm sitting there going like, God, I wish Gavin was here. Like, he's not going to believe I heard any of this from her. Like, it was just that inappropriate. I'm like, good Lord. So here, I had something happen this weekend that's fun. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So do you see how I'm standing here? I took a selfie.
Yes, but I'm assuming that the focus is not supposed to be on you. It's supposed to be on the bird feeder behind you.
Do you notice anything yet?
I can't. Let me make the screen bigger for me. So was I right? It's supposed to be something about the bird feeder?
If you make the screen full screen, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I got it. I got it full screen.
Do you see inside the one?
What the hell is that? Is that a bird?
It's a chipmunk that got inside.
Oh my God.
Bro, hold on. You ready for this?
Inside it.
It's this little shit. Like, bro, hilarious. All right, you ready? I had some fun. I took pictures with him because mainly...
You knew he wasn't getting out.
Do you see this one?
Yeah.
So I made a video of me with the squirrel, okay? Or with the chipmunk. Can you see the video?
Yes. Yeah, I can see it.
All right, if I did this. You could see I was worried. Like, I'm negotiating with the chipmunk right now, telling him, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to make you safe. Look at him. He freaks out, and I don't want him to worry because I want him to just stay calm. I get him moving, and I'm talking to him. I'm calmly saying, "Don't worry." I tucked my shirt in for this video. Isn't that nice?
Why'd you tuck your shirt in?
I didn't think about it, to be honest with you. I was like, I was moving things, and I had it tucked in, not thinking. Now look, watch how hard this is for me to get off. Like, I don't know how this dude got in here. I had to use.
He probably went through one of those holes.
He's too big.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I bet he did, and then he ate so much he can't get out.
If they can put their head through that hole, they can get their body through it.
Do you see him looking at the camera?
Yeah, I see him.
Watch. Here he gets ready. He's judging all of his stuff. He digs himself a hole to say, I gotta load up my cheeks full of food one more time before I go. I'm ready to like knock it over. Whoop, there he goes. That little dude was awesome. Yeah. He just literally, bro, he was just wanting to relax, wanting to eat his food. I'm out there trying to
disrupt all of that.
Yes. And I'm like, well, no, he wasn't coming out, and he was freaking out. He really was freaking out, jumping, hitting his head, freaking out. And I'm like, well, let me put the dogs inside. Let me move this really quick. He ended up, I named him. His name is Alvin. Yep. Because I figured of all of them, I thought about naming him Theodore because of all the chipmunks, Alvin and Theodore. Alvin gets into trouble, but Theodore would be the one that's smart enough to get in there. So that's why I did that.
What was the third one?
You had Alvin, Theodore, and Simon.
Ah, that's right. I thought Simon was the smart one. I thought Theodore was the chunky one.
He is. Theodore's the chunky one. So I said it backwards. It started with the name Alvin. I wanted to name him Simon because how did he get in there so smart? And then by the time he ate that much, I'm like, nope, he's a Theodore.
Nice. I remember the first animal that I actually hit with my car was a chipmunk. I was driving home and I saw it go in the road, and then I saw it go the other way. I was like, oh, he got away. And then I heard the back tire just go thunk, and all I could do was just shout, Alvin! That's how I got through it emotionally. It made me feel a little better in that bad situation. But that's what you got to do in life. You got to find the silver linings.
So I'm not going to touch this one. So are you? Your silver lining is you yelling Alvin.
Yes, that was my comedic relief. I couldn't give him CPR. Like Yolanda's not a huge car, but still a car.
And a chipmunk's awfully tiny. Today, are you a Harry Potter fan at all?
I am.
Are you?
Yes,
Who's your favorite Harry Potter character?
Ooh. Probably Hagrid. I would say Hagrid's my favorite character, just because, like, a very good part of me aspires to be that, like, just very, like, big, knowledgeable handyman who just kind of lives away from everybody else and is just surrounded by animals.
I mean, is there another way to live?
Yeah, but like dangerous animals too. Like he has Fluffy, his 3-headed dog that was guarding the what was it? That was guarding the Sorcerer's Stone. That was pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he had the dragon. I can't remember the dragon's name though, if it had a name.
I don't remember the dragon's name, but you know who probably does? Brett Gordon.
Does he?
Yeah, probably. Today he actually is going to be joining us. He'll be joining us in the next few minutes. Brett Gordon is actually coming here today to teach us leadership qualities that he's seen through Hermione in the Harry Potter movies. And I had to break Brett's heart and let him know I've only seen one of those movies. And he was pretty unhappy with me because I don't watch movies. I've seen 2 Star Wars movies, 1 Star Trek movie. I've seen probably 4 Star Wars movies because they keep making them. Star Trek. Yeah. People get mad when you don't see certain things, man. And I'm telling you right now, I literally have I don't watch movies. I barely watch TV. I've always found something else to do. And I've been trying to get more and more into making sure I take care of myself and build the right direction compared to being a TV watcher and distracted. But Brett made me watch Harry Potter and get to know about Hermione and be able to come in and have a conversation. He's correcting me in the background of saying something.
Yeah, it's Hermione.
Hermione. There it is. See?
Hermione.
The Hermione.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Leviosa. You know what? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest coming on later. Do make sure to keep your ears, your radios, your YouTube channels up. Brett Gordon's going to be joining us in a second, but in a half hour, we have Raphael Recht from Australia. He was born in South Africa to European parents. He grew up in the suburbs of Melbourne while navigating through life with cystic fibrosis. Son of a Gavin, my tongue is tied today. Cystic fibrosis. Besides being in and out of hospitals and moving between various schools, he was diagnosed with learning difficulties. However, Raphael's passion for performing arts allowed him to persevere through the struggles he was facing academically. Naturally, Raphael decided to attend the Victorian College of Arts secondary school at the age of 14. He then pursued a 1-year duration of studying small companies and community theater in Swinburne University of Technology, and I'm not even going to try to say this city, Prahran. I know I'm messing it up, and he will correct us. Here's why you want to stay around. In 1997, Raphael had the opportunity to meet and perform with Michael Jackson on stage. So, 99% of the interview is going to be asking questions from me about Michael Jackson and how they're best friends or were best friends and how that experience was, because that is freaking cool. You're the first person I've ever known to have met Michael Jackson. Raphael is a freelancer, a photographer, a filmmaker, creative director, performer, and health advocate. He brings a unique circumstances that have enabled him to compassionate storyteller. He aspires to help others use their personal experiences to tell their stories they wish to share. So do not go anywhere. He will be on here very, very soon. He's a very exciting guy. But right now, we have special guest, guys. It is Mr. Brett Gordon to talk about Harmony.
You did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Gonna flick and swish.
Yes. Yes.
And Brandon's gonna be like, "What the heck are you guys talking about?"
Brett, what is your house?
Actually, it is Ravenclaw.
Okay. All right.
I was a Ravenclaw.
Oh, did you take the test?
I was forced to.
You were forced to. You were held against your will to take the test.
No, I was asked to take it. I said I don't understand what I'm going to be doing with this or what it's going to mean, and I still took it. And I got Dragon Breath or Dragon House or whatever it is.
There's Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff.
There's Gryffindor and Slytherin.
Nope, I was a Raven.
Ravenclaw. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Ravenclaw is kind of known for being kind of the nerdy ones to a certain extent.
yeah. If you had to guess mine, Brett, what would you guess?
I would say you're probably more of a Gryffindor.
What do you think, Brandon? Because you know very little.
Yeah, Gryffindor.
Are you saying that just because Brett said that?
Are you a Ravenclaw?
You're a raging
A
claw.
Raging Claw. There you go. He's a
Yeah.
Raging Claw.
Yes.
No,
Fight the machine. I am a Gryffindor.
So, Brett, talk to us about Harry Potter and Hermione and all this. Hermione.
So Harry Potter is like the first of the, series of movies. Well, I take that back. It's second. I did watch Star Wars, most of them, but I didn't actually watch all of the Star Wars movies before I saw all of the Harry Potter movies.
What about the Lord of the Rings?
That was 3 of them, and I never got through the second one of those completely for a long time. For some reason, I just couldn't make it through the second one completely.
That's fair. They're long movies.
Yeah, but I have since watched all of those as well. But Harry Potter is the one that I literally have purchased the series probably 13 different times, whether it be DVD, Blu-ray, digital, the big box of everything, including all of the backstories, 136 hours worth of video. So I have purchased it many times and I have watched it. Actually, that was the one thing that I used to watch over and over and over again when I was going to sleep. I would just turn on Harry Potter and it would settle me down and I would just go off to my own little wizarding world when I go to sleep.
I like that.
And so then as soon as, it opened up here out in California's, what do you call it? Universal Studios, went there to check it out. Harry Potter World. I'd love to go to England to be able to see what they have and still part of the studios where they filmed it. I think are set up as kind of a, tourist type thing. So Harry Potter has definitely been a big impact on my life.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was something that I definitely, I grew up with those kids, basically. Like, I want to say I was like 6 or something when the first one came out, 6 or 7. And so I just, every year or every other year, I got to see a new Harry Potter movie all the way until my mid-teens. And that was a pretty awesome experience. And I remember now thinking about it now from a business aspect, that was actually probably a great cash cow, the way that they would like release those box sets where it'd be like the first 3 years and the next 3 years, and then every time a movie came out, they just added another DVD to the box set and then just resold it to people, and they gave it like a new fancy cover and everything, so you had to buy it as like collector's editions at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, marketing has been, just a huge part of movies today. And the thing about Harry Potter that I really love, and the reason that I am so glad that Brandon and I did the One Square at a Time on Hermione, is the strength of girl power or feminine energy that J.K. Rowling brings out in the characters. And she brings it out in the female heroes as well as the female villains.
Yeah.
And there is not this dominance of male type testosterone characters that overpowers the female characters. She brings, them on par. And to be perfectly honest, there is no way that Harry Potter would have defeated Voldemort, or Voldemort is actually the way it's supposed to be pronounced, if it wasn't for Hermione. So to me, I just love it as an opportunity, especially for young girls and women, to be able to see the power that a strong female character can bring to movies. And this is something that J.K. Rowling, experienced as an individual. I mean, she's freaking amazing. In terms of going from nothing to a billionaire with this entire world in her head. And what we see in Harry Potter movies and see in the Harry Potter books is only a part of the world that's still in her head. She can go back generations beyond what you see in the movies and tell you whose father is whom and mother and all this kind of stuff. And to me, that's crazy. I mean, I wish I had that kind of imagination.
I do want to bring this up, though, just bring some light. I'm not positive if it's true, but I'm pretty damn sure. Wasn't she experiencing some weird hallucinogenic side effects from like some like gas station Viagra or something like that when writing these books?
I don't know. That's a new story that I haven't heard yet.
I'm gonna look it up really quick, because I swear to God that's part of it too. I'm not trying to take any credit from the books. They're amazing books, they're amazing movies, but I think that played into the creativity of it. See, you keep talking while I look this up really quick.
She had experienced some really tough times, and I think that was part of the world that she created in order to deal with the traumatic experiences that she had when she was pregnant, and then boyfriend left, and she was left without really any means to survive and things along those lines. But just an amazing series, and in a world that I get lost in. And I'm 58 years old, so I'm not one of the like Gavin's generation or even Brandon's generation that is more in line with the age group and so forth of Harry Potter. But when I was introduced to Harry Potter, I probably would not have watched or gotten into it in the way that I did if I would have started by just watching the first one that came to the theater and then waited for the next one and then waited for the next one. I didn't really get introduced to Harry Potter until like about 6 of them had already been produced, so I could, binge watch the whole thing up to that point. And that's what really, I think, got me into Harry Potter or Game of Thrones or any of these things. Is if I would have seen it one episode at a time, I probably wouldn't have had the same level of enthusiasm and been in touch with them in the way that I was. But Hermione to me was an amazing character because, she was what they called derogatorily a mudblood, which is a mixed blood.
That was like their slur for the wizarding race. And then really quick, I found some memes about it, but no actual credible source.
Yeah, so I like I said, I have done a lot of background stuff on the movies and J.K. Rowling, and never saw anything like that. But
so I got to be careful on the internet. Don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Hermione she was inquisitive.
Yeah.
She was precocious. She was also a girl.
Yeah.
Meaning she had feelings, although oftentimes because she was precocious, because she was smart, a lot of times she was teased because of that or overlooked because of that. In fact, Harry and Ron actually made fun of her to begin with.
Yeah.
Because she was like the know-it-all.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about that too is that Emma Watson, the actress, was a very precocious, inquisitive child herself. So it was kind of a reflection of her and why when she interviewed for the role, she was just like a perfect match. And in fact, I saw Mandy had mentioned Luna Lovejoy. Luna was actually very similar in the actress was very similar in nature to Luna. So it's pretty cool how they were, when an actor and a character are kind of intertwined, it enables them to really just kind of live their life through the character, or the character lives through them, and it becomes a synergistic effect. Anyhow, Hermione, I thought, was just perfect for bringing out, and at the time, as we have really started to focus more and more on girl power, the power of feminine energy, and being able to provide great role models for women, to know that, a lot of times there has been this long history of women kind of being put into secondary roles, or not, put into the STEM studies, science and technology and that kind of stuff. And Hermione was, to me, one of the first strong, well-recognized characters that really said, hey, look, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, you can be whatever you want. And it's not bad to be smart. Don't dumb yourself down because you're a woman. And it came through in other characters too. Molly Weasley, Ron's mother. She was the nice mom and all that stuff. But when her back was against the wall, or you did something to her kids, she was.
When her kids got in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, she basically, blew apart, if I'm not mistaken, Bellatrix. When it came down to which Bellatrix was like a female villain, the one that was really close to Voldemort. And it just showed the strength of women in many different roles. So love it. And when Brandon and I got a chance to do the One Square at a Time, we brought out a lot of these characteristics. We went into a lot of back discussion. So, everybody, we're going to put up here in the banners. Actually, I have already got one out there, or should have one out there for the show. And it is an amazing opportunity to see how Brandon and I worked actually near the beginning, because this one was recorded back in December of last year. And I just watched it again last night, and I was surprised with, what came out, what we said, what we talked about. It went beyond just, this precociousness. It went into a lot more of the power of women, the power of truth, the power of really recognizing that you need to stand up and question your belief systems, understand how the belief systems impact your life. And this is also something else that Harry Potter, I think, brings out, is that, your belief systems make your perception of life your reality, which is not necessarily somebody else's reality. And that reality is all that really matters to you until you start to open up your mind and you see, hey, maybe I need to change my belief systems. Maybe I do need to believe in dragons, which, Gavin was asking about the name of Hagrid's dragon, which was Norbert.
Huh. Yeah, I would have never remembered that in 1,000 years. Never. Norbert.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I had to look that one up behind the scenes. So
I figure that's what you were doing.
I do remember Norbert. Norbert was the little egg. Actually, it was the egg that kind of Hagrid traded to get, because he wanted to have a dragon, and then he was cooking it or keeping it hot in a pot in order to be able to kind of nurture it until it actually broke through the egg.
And then that's the dragon that Harry ends up fighting in the Goblet of Fire much later in the series. That's the same dragon. It grows up. Yep. And then one of the things that I think really that I wanted to touch on was Hermione's elegance and compassion. You mentioned that while she has all these very great leadership traits, one that she has that most people don't typically take into consideration with being a leader is she's very compassionate. Even when she had people like trying to kill her, other wizards trying to kill her and her friends, they would knock them out, and the worst that she would do was erase their memories. That's what she did. She never actually put anybody down. Much later in the series, you see her release, or you see them. They're in like a deli or something like that, and they get attacked. And instead of killing him, she just erases all of his memories.
Well, yeah, there's many things. Actually, one of the things that Hermione brings out also is that, you need to stand up to your enemies or your foes, but sometimes you also need to stand up to your friends. And actually, in the very first movie, when they were trying to find the Sorcerer's Stone, Neville stood up to them and he's like, no, you guys can't do that. We're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble. And she put a petrifying curse on him to basically allow him to not be in their way anymore for a little while, so that they can move forward. And sometimes in our lives, we need to recognize that standing up to our friends, standing up to our peer group, standing up for what we believe, when we have to challenge our friends and our peer groups is maybe more difficult than standing up to your foes.
Absolutely. I think standing up to people who you love and care about is much, much more difficult than standing up to somebody that you already don't agree with or somebody you're already opposed against, because you expect to be opposed against them. You know, if you have an enemy of some sort, you expect to have to stand up to them and have conflict with them. It's definitely stressful, but it's an expectation eventually. However, I also think that it's more difficult than even with a stranger, because while a stranger can be unpredictable, and now that's a new sense of stress. It's a new sense of fight or flight that you're experiencing that you were not expecting. It's still there's not as much emotional attachment to that person. So when you have to stand up to a loved one or a friend or a family member, you know, it hurts you because you don't want to. You know, you just want to be happy with that person because you do love and you do care about that person. But sometimes for a greater good or a better benefit for you two, you or even just yourself, there are times where you have to stand up to those people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, one of the cool things that, you know, taking it even outside of the movies is when Emma Watson actually took a role as a UN Goodwill ambassador, and she was promoting the He for She program, which is one where it really is talking about equality within the workplace and equality within stature between men and women, you know, worldwide, and really talk about some of the areas where there's even more of a discrepancy between the male and female roles in what they have traditionally played versus what they can play, and the strength that women bring to society, to business, to the universe, with the feminine energy and what feminine energy really can do. For me as a leader, when I was in the military or when I was in corporate America, having the woman's perspective, having a woman on my team was extremely powerful, because the intuition, the ability to feel into a situation is much greater than men usually, because of the feminine energy and the masculine energy. And remember, the feminine energy and masculine energy has nothing to do with whether you're a male or female biologically. It's got to do with the way that you're actually working with your brain, and that women or the feminine energy is the more caring, is the more listening, is the more intuitive. The masculine tends to be more of the physical aspect and things along those lines. And oftentimes, and you're seeing it even in news today about the sausage fests that are going on, and, you know, and battles that are going on in politics today. And it's, you know, all of these guys that got to prove that they're number one, and are not open enough or smart enough to figure out that I need to shut my mouth and open my ears and listen to what's going on and really connect with my people, as opposed to continue to push my agenda, to continue to push, you know, this domineering role.
No, absolutely. There does need to be a balance. You know, that's what a good, proper leader needs to have. They need to have that masculine energy where they're able to hold frame in difficult situations. You know, they don't break down, they don't crack under pressure. They're able to persevere, stay calm, and make critical decisions without emotion. However, they also need to have that feminine energy as well, where they are allowed to and they're able to sympathize with others and nurture and listen and be there as a emotional support as well. There has to be balance back and forth with that. And a lot of times what does happen, which people are seeing, is the big issue with any sort of like political office or position that's held that people have issue with, typically if they're talking about toxic masculinity or masculine energy, it's because they do have that masculine energy to them, but they lack the feminine energy. So they were able to get in that position by working very late overnight constantly, or maybe they were just born into it, but let's assume they worked very late to get into it. They didn't see their friends or their family a whole lot. They made some either they made some shitty decisions and stabbed some people in the back to get there. They cut throats. They did what they had to do to get to that position. Whether it was all legal or not, I can't speak for them, but they had that mindset of, I need to get to here. I need to do what I need to get to this spot. And they lack that compassionate side. And that's where a lot of people have the issue with, oh, it's this toxic masculinity, because they seem cold and robotic.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, we didn't talk about it so much in this episode, but again, I encourage everybody to watch this episode and then tune in on Thursday when we do the live interactive session. But in order to grow in business or politics in this world, there's still this very masculine dominated business and political environment. And if you look at some of the powerful women that have risen, like Angela Merkel and things like that from Germany, they take on a very masculine energy shell.
Yeah.
And we talk about peeling back onions and things like that. Well, this is what people do as they grow. You can take on women and can oftentimes take on a masculine shell in order to thrive in a business environment, in a political environment, and oftentimes as you keep building that shell or that part thicker and thicker because of the business, because of the politics, whatever, when you try to go back home, it's very difficult to take that shell off, and it creates a challenge within a relationship, because you're actually breaking down the natural magnetism between the masculine and the feminine energies as you're bringing home that masculine energy into a relationship. And that's not to say that you have to become weak, because actually, in my opinion, feminine energy is stronger than masculine energy. And being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness. Being vulnerable is actually a sign of strength. It's a sign of being able to open up enough and recognize that you do need to open up in order to really experience life the way that life can be experienced, to experience love the way that love can be experienced. But there's vulnerability can be perceived as weakness, but really vulnerability is actually, in my opinion, a sign of strength. And, we have to continue to challenge those types of belief systems that we are taught when we're children, when we go to church, when we go to school. It matters not whether you're male or female, masculine energy, feminine energy. It matters not what race, creed, color you are. It's all about really your belief systems, the belief systems that support you, and the belief systems that oftentimes that we take on, but we don't even know. They were given to us or pressed upon us until we believed in them and hold them as ours, but not necessarily are they empowering to us. They may have been empowering to us when we were younger, especially when we're trying to, get people to recognize who we are and create our own little space in life. But we have to reevaluate those belief systems. And near the end of the episode that Brandon and I did, I talk about some things that I had to make some very serious evaluations of when I was in the military, when I was at the Pentagon after 9/11, and how I had to, in order to hold true to myself, find ways not to support the policy of our country, but continue to support the Air Force and the military, which I still truly believe in the military. But oftentimes we are pushed into positions where we have to support policies that may not coincide with our belief systems, and we have to justify those things, and we have to use our means to be able to help influence the direction. But you also have orders and things like that you have to follow. So anyhow, when I watched the whole thing, it was pretty amazing going back 6 months now and seeing what I said back then and what Brandon and I talked about back then, and really loving really what I heard. and looking forward to Thursday when we get a chance to interact with our audience and talk more about the details and so forth. So again, everybody, if you get a chance, we've put out the link of the session, and looking forward to talking with you again on Thursday.
Absolutely. Brett, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on today. You're on every single Monday. You're a reoccurring guest here. We're going to be moving on to our next segment. Thank you so much for being on. I'm looking forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the week, because we know that you are always in the background making sure everything is taken care of. And then we will see you next time as well. Randy, would you like to bring in the wonderful guest?
I would love to. Sorry, I needed to step away for a quick second. Raphael he's got, not only am I a fan, obviously, because of the Ninja Turtles and Raphael, we're going to skip that stuff. Not just because of the fact that he's lived his life growing up with cystic fibrosis and having disabilities in school, learning difficulties. It's the fact that he keeps putting his best foot forwards. And Raphael has done some pretty cool things, from dancing with Michael Jackson to being able to have, or being on stage with Michael Jackson, to having him be able to have his way to inspire others and help their personal experiences tell their story and how they learn to share it. So ladies and gentlemen, please do us a favor, say hello to Raphael.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Hello.
Very well, very well. How are you guys?
Doing good. Still waking up. I know you're over in Australia, correct?
Indeed, man. Indeed.
Yes, I love the accent. Thank you so much for being here. I know that it is rather late over there, so we appreciate you burning the oil with us tonight.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Having opportunities to talk to people on the other side of the world about awesome, positive things is, definitely keeps you up.
Yeah. You seem a bit bundled up for being in Australia. Is it cold there at night?
Yeah. We're at the bottom. So it's super cold.
Gotcha.
Right now it's about 10 degrees. So what's that, 46?
Yeah, if you're in Celsius, you'd be between 46 and 50 around there Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's like winter here. So
oof.
Down the bottom end.
Does it snow down there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Definitely. Yeah, get some good.
I never thought I'd imagine a snowy kangaroo. Interesting.
Yeah, man. Yep, it happens.
Good.
Snowy koalas.
Yeah.
How much snow do you actually get? Would you say you actually get like snow where you need to have it plowed and taken out, or is it like just a dusting and just cold?
Regularly below freezing mountain level, we don't get much on the ground, but up on the mountains, we definitely get some good snow.
Nice.
Nothing like Colorado or the Rockies or anywhere in Canada or
enough to build a snowman, but probably not enough to snowboard.
Yeah, definitely snowboard. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
We generally drive to the top of the hill, and then all the resorts are on the top of the hill. Yeah. Whereas where you guys are in the States, in Canada, everything's like around the hill, and then you drive, then you ski on the hill. But it's like the opposite here. You generally ski below residential level and then lift back up.
Huh. Gotcha.
Interesting. Yeah. So, Raphael, you have had, you've lived with cystic fibrosis. Can you explain cystic fibrosis for our listeners and how challenging that can be, and the triumphs you've come through, knowing you're still here and doing great things?
Sure. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic condition that affects all the cells in the body by not allowing salt and water to pass through to clear out bacteria. So in places like the lungs, what that does is allow the bacteria to build up, block airways, and just cause havoc. Increased chest infections, which leads to hospital admissions. The pancreas doesn't produce enzymes, so no food acids. So no fat or proteins are naturally processed by the body. So someone with cystic fibrosis will have to take up to 25 to 30 enzymes a day just to digest food, which is pretty crazy. And then there's just constant antibiotics and preventatives. The body doesn't really doesn't allow salt to do what it needs to do. So we sweat a lot of salt. So therefore we have salt deficiency as well.
Yeah.
And then there's cystic fibrosis related diabetes.
Oh my God. It just keeps adding on.
Yeah, it keeps going. It keeps going. Yeah. And then when the bones don't get enough. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, when the bones don't get enough nutrients because the body can't take in the nutrients, it starts taking the marrow from the bones, and then the bones get weak, and then you can get osteoporosis.
So what is your diet like then? Are you doing a lot of supplements, a lot of pills, or are you doing like I know you have issues with sodium, so you're doing like a lot of red meat then to make sure that you're getting the proper protein, a lot of like milk or calcium based foods. Like what's your diet have to consist to make sure that you're getting everything that you need in your body?
Well, you're gonna love this one. So basically, I do every 3 days. I do a meal prep where that consists of 2 oven trays of pumpkin, sweet potato, 3 types of greens, so a broccolini, asparagus, zucchini, beetroot, and then 1 tray with chicken breast and 1 tray with kangaroo, because kangaroo is really high in iron and really lean. So it's a pretty gamey meat.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then I'll do a mix of like black rice, quinoa and wild rice. So 5 cups, I make 10 meals, and that's 3 meals of that a day.
Nice. I feel like somebody was just asking me the other day, because I told somebody that you have kangaroo the same way that we have white-tailed deer. And I swear somebody asked me if you guys eat kangaroo as well. So apparently you do. And
not everybody, but it's good.
Yeah. You said it's very gamey. Do you have a special way you like to prepare it then?
In the oven. I just let it sit. Yeah. Just put it in the oven, bury it in vegetables. Let it just, because it goes really tough really quickly. So.
All right then.
That was just such a good answer. It was so smooth. How do you like to cook it? In the oven.
Yeah, so I felt like a jackass.
No, not really.
Your question just.
I know it wasn't meant to, but it was. I just love the way that you delivered that answer, like in the oven. Duh. How do you cook food, huh? The microwave, you American?
He wasn't saying it like
that. I know.
Dig a hole.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you've grown up with cystic fibrosis. You've had a life of this, and then you add learning disabilities on there. It's hard enough to focus in school. It's hard enough to be able to really create your best you when you're dealing with pain and having to figure out how your body responds to things, because it literally is a very unique disease. My sister has cystic fibrosis, and I've seen her have days where she just can't get out of bed. She's in pain. She's hurting. Her whole body aches. How do you keep you pushing on in good ways, when you get tested and you find out you have learning disabilities, and then you have this physical challenge? You could have easily made excuses up to not do anything, and you didn't. What makes Raphael keep going other than the Ninja Turtles?
They were a big help.
They were.
What did keep me going? I really think that from a young age, I had a belief within myself that there was more to I knew there was more than just school or education. So school, I struggled and I never really fit in, but I did rely on dance and drama and performing to get me through school. And I knew that those things that I love to do, like helping people and performing, were definitely the things that allowed me to have vision for a future.
Very nice. What do you dream of for the future? How do you picture you leaving an influence on the world and making it a better place?
I've put in place. Well, I've just written a hip hop album entitled Life Expectancy, which is all about all of this. And the idea of that is to help raise awareness to inspire people to live a happy, healthy life. And I think it's all about just using my life experience to plant seeds to help people become more aware, more empathetic, more conscious. And the more that spreads, then that will be passed on to other people. And that'll continue.
No. So in a nutshell, what would you say your legacy is going to be then?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. I haven't actually thought about that.
It's a difficult one because, it's quoting Hamilton, legacy is planting seeds in a garden we'll never see. So It's something we don't really like to think about a lot.
Sidebar, how amazing is that play?
Oh, my God. I watched it again. I have it basically memorized from front to back, and I watched it again the other day with a friend of mine who had never seen it. And, I listened to it.
What's your favorite song?
Honestly, it's got to be either My Shot is like my favorite karaoke song to do. I love doing that. But then if I need to like inspire myself, like if I'm like having like a rough time going to the gym or writing or doing work at the house, I'll listen to Nonstop.
Nonstop.
Yeah.
I love, what is it? My Time, where he's like, Theodosia writes me a letter every day.
Yes. Yeah. He's talking about how he's going to wait for everything.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's a great one.
And the section with the dancing where they go from the wedding back to
rewind. Satisfied.
Oh my God.
Satisfied. You strike me as a woman who's never been satisfied. I've used that as a pickup line before, and it worked. If they understand the reference, it works every time. If they don't know the reference, then they're all like, "Oh, who's this creep trying to get in my pants?" It's like, no. It's a musical. It's a musical. I promise you.
That's amazing. You got a nice voice too. I like that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
He's a singer too. Gavin is a musician. Yes, he meets a lot of musicians and gets to do interviews and have conversations all the time. I've seen Gavin. Ooh, that was a big thing of lightning. I've seen Gavin literally like be able to jump in and just start singing all over the place from Hamilton.
Is that thunder right now?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you?
I'm on the east side of Cleveland. Gavin's on the west side.
Yeah, I had a little bit of rain 30 minutes ago, but nothing like that.
Torrential downpour right now. Like it looks like I have a hurricane hitting us. And when I say that, it's not me trying to say anything. Like that lightning bolt I'm right next to a window. It was so big I saw it go right by me, and I'm like, what the F? Like that's why it distracted me. My ADD squirrel just kicked in really hard. Like sorry about that. Like it just I didn't think we were getting rain today. Then all of a sudden there's this huge amount of rain. Like so, Raphael, I want to focus on you. Sorry, instead of the rain.
Enough about the rain. Enough about me singing Raphael.
Raphael's passion for performing arts allowed him to persevere through struggles. You were facing academically. So what type of performing arts did you do? Were you like the guy out in front, like dancing? Or were you did you make music? Oh, you're a dancer. What kind of dancer? Do you do like ballet?
Self-taught. My first inspiration was Fred Astaire, all the tap dancers, all the freestyle break dancers. Michael Jackson, so self-taught Michael Jackson. Then at 15, I went to the Melbourne Arts Centre, and they had a whole lot of kids from the VCA coming and doing a performance. And the VCA is Victorian College of the Arts, as you said earlier, which is like a school like Fame. essentially. So it's half day academic, half day music or dance. So I heard about this school and I was like, yeah, I really need to audition for this school at 14 years old. I'd already been to like 5 schools by that time.
Wow.
I think I went to 10 schools in total. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
Now with that, because that was something, I switched schools, I think twice growing up, and I wish that I did it more often, because I feel like after a while, once I got acclimated to adjusting from school to school, I just would have played characters every time I got to a new school, knowing I'd only be there temporary. Did you ever do that? Did you ever like go there and just kind of like create a persona, or just come in with like a strange amount of confidence because you've done it so many times that you knew how like fickle societal relationships really are, especially at a young age?
I think I did always have a lot of confidence, but then I think I was always really embarrassed by like my mum, who would come in and be like, this is like, make me seem like some special kid. Like, this is my son and he's got cystic fibrosis, and you know,
shit, she would come and she would introduce you.
Yeah, she'd do all that. Like, somebody would like make sure to make this thing that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really strange. So it really did throw a spanner in the works when just trying to be a normal kid.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I could definitely see that. Now, how so 10 different schools, were you changing a school like every other year then, or were you doing like multiple each year, every other year? What was the reason again? 1 or 2. All right. I'm sorry if I missed it. What was the reason for changing so many schools?
Well, I'd go to a new school that would be say, oh yeah, we can help special kids with learning disabilities.
Yeah.
But then I think I didn't really have any interest in school, so I had these helping teachers, and I was just like, all right, well, I guess I don't really need to do my work because I have helping teachers. And then I don't know, very, very early on, I fell behind academically. And I remember the moment where I would sit in class and we used to do dictation. Did you guys do dictation?
Yes, I did, because I schooled in Arizona schools when I was a young child, and the education system that they had when I went was god-awful to the school that I went to, because I was illiterate till about the 3rd grade. Halfway through the 2nd grade, I moved to Ohio and went to schools here, and then they had to start re-teaching me how to properly read and write. And so I had to do diction and different spelling and speaking classes for the rest of 2nd grade and 3rd grade as well.
Yeah, so we used to sit there and the teacher would be reading and we'd have to write what the teacher was reading.
Yeah.
And I would always fall behind. So I'd be like, Miss, what was that last thing you said? What was that last thing you said? She would get upset with me disrupting her. So I started asking the kid next to me. Then that kid would get annoyed. Then the teacher would get annoyed that I was disrupting the class. And I remember the moment I zoned out the window, and then the bell went and I came back, and I was like, awesome, I didn't get in trouble. And it was more important not to get in trouble than get my work done. And then from then on, I was gone. Like, just
the worst part about that was, I'm not sure how old you were at the time. I'm assuming you were closer around like, 2nd, 3rd grade, maybe 4th. But the worst part about that is when you were at that younger age, they wouldn't let you shorthand because they wanted you to spell everything out. And which is strange, because now as an adult, especially like in high school, they really encourage us to shorthand notes for going to college. As an adult, anytime that I'm in a meeting or anytime that, like when I used to wait tables, I would shorthand everything. People would tell me an entire order for a 10 top table, and I would just have random hieroglyphics written on my paper. Like they want like a spaghetti and meatballs with extra garlic bread, and I just put SBXB. Like I knew what it meant. SMXB. There we go. Spaghetti, meatball, extra bread. Boom.
Did you get told off for that, or was that okay?
No, because their order was correct, so it didn't matter.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I had the information. It didn't matter what I wrote down on the paper. But as a kid, I struggled with the same thing that you did, where they would constantly they'd speak really fast. I couldn't get it written down. My hand would start cramping. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do my best. Yeah,
I still get the cramping if I'm filling out a form I get anxiety. My hand cripples. Like I end up writing like just these weird lines and half like just.
I had the second grade teacher, Miss Eisenhower, and I only remember her name because supposedly she was related to President Eisenhower, which she was very proud of, and second grade Gavin couldn't give less of a shit about, which she was very insulted about. She told me that she was related to President Eisenhower. I just go, oh, okay, and went back on playing with my Legos. Like she hated how I handled a pencil. I don't remember how I handled it, but apparently it was the incorrect way to handle a pencil. And so she sat there for probably like 20 minutes just forcing my hand into this little uncomfortable, like finger tight grip to write everything. And I think I held it like this, like a cigarette. That's how I write it now. Yeah. I write it like this, I have my thumb in the back for support, and it's nice and easy. It's like less on the wrist, more on the tendon, but she wanted me to do it like this weird, like kung fu grip style where I had all control of the pencil, very tight and orderly. I swear she was a nun at one point. Like she did some things, like she was smack desk with rulers. I was not a fan of her. I just remembered how much I did not like this teacher. Let's go to another topic. This is
all right. Let's keep going.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You said you wanted another topic. I'm like, I have one ready.
Yes.
I'm going to throw this one right. All right. Tell us about Michael Jackson. I'm like,
yeah.
Give me MJ. So, 1997. So first off, you're young. What did you get to do with him, and how did you like that? Would be like the highlight of my life to this day. Still, like for real, it's Michael Jackson, and I still sing. Like I walk around singing. It doesn't matter if you're black or white all the time, just so people realize it. But but like, how did you get this? Tell me about this with your performance and all that. Like I want your autograph.
I don't have an autograph.
Oh,
no, why not? You make music. You're an entertaining guy.
I can never make one the same, so people wouldn't believe that it's real.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know what? I don't even have a
fair
signature.
one.
Yeah. But the Michael Jackson thing was pretty crazy. I was like 15, and I knew he was coming, so I was kind of sick, but like not really that sick. But I was like,
you were too sick to go to work, but not too sick to hang out with Michael Jackson.
Well, I was like, I'm pretty sure that the only opportunity I'm going to get to meet him is if I'm in hospital. So I was pretty regularly in hospital anyway. So I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sick. Like, I think I need to go to hospital. And my mum had gone behind my back and written a letter to his managers telling them my story. But she didn't tell me this. So I went to hospital. And then the day he arrived, this woman from his managing team, this lovely lady, phoned the hospital and organized to get a whole lot of the sick kids to come down to the hotel where he was arriving. And then my mum called me and told me that. Then she called my mum and asked my mum to bring me down. But my mum's like, oh, he's in hospital. They're like, oh, which hospital? And then they realized that they just called the same hospital and organized for all the kids to come down anyway. So we get down to the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Melbourne City, and there's like the barriers, all the fans, news, all the press on this side, police everywhere, a big DJ with big speakers just blasting Michael Jackson, hyping the crowd. And then there's us on this side of the barriers. And I see some friends over at the barriers, and they're like, Raph, come over here. So I went over, and they're like, why aren't you dancing? I was like, oh, yeah, I can dance. So I started dancing. And then the woman who answered the letter from my mum was like, you never told me that he could dance. He just said that he was sick. She was like, yeah, well, that goes with it. So then she's like, Michael has to see this. So as soon as he arrived, I was like one of the first people to be ushered out to meet him. And I was just like, I really want to dance for you. He's like, so dance. And then I danced, and he's like, cool, hang out. So we just ended up hanging out for the day. And he was like, so do you want to be in the concert or do you want to come to the concert? And I was like, sure, but you have to bring all the other sick kids as well. I can't just go by myself, So all those kids from the hospital got organized to come, and
you were the MVP that day. I hope you know that. Those kids were like, he got us. He got us. He got our backs.
But you know how I was actually like, a lot of those kids at the hospital were like, oh, you're getting such a big head. You're getting so like, about it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like all I've done is like try to give you guys the same opportunity that I had. Yeah. I'm having, but yet I was still throwing shade, about it. I was just like, I don't really get what you guys are talking about.
Haters gonna hate.
Right?
I think that goes along with how people are, though. Like, you're supposed to make sure you're doing you, and you have this like talent that I like how you were like, oh, I was sick and I can dance. That's how they go hand in hand. Man, you should see these kids in wheelchairs nowadays. They're like spinning on their head.
It's like a package deal. Is that on your Tinder profile? I'm sick and I can dance. Wink, wink.
When I had a Tinder profile, it probably was.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've been in a good relationship.
What did you call him, Mr. Jackson? Did you just be like, hello, Mr. Jackson? Or were you like, hey, Mike?
He had strange nicknames like Applehead, and I don't know, it's just one of some weird nicknames.
That is interesting. I've never heard his nickname like that. That Applehead. I don't even know where I'd start with that. Like, I'd have to ask many questions. With that, he put the spotlight on you, though, to be able to dance and do that. Like, how did that feel?
He totally stepped back from his own thing and watched me dance. It's actually, I found the interview. I put it on, I think it's on my Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
I think it'll be on, actually, you know what? Can I send you a link?
Absolutely. If you want, you could do at the private chat there. You send it and I'll be able to share it for everybody. While he does that, while Raphael does that, is there any other celebrities that you've met that you've got to dance for like that? Or even maybe not dance for, but just meet in general, because that's a pretty freaking cool thing. Like that, I've never met anybody that got to have Michael Jackson lean back and watch him dance before.
Is that a question for me or other people?
Have you performed for others?
I haven't really performed for others, but I seem to have had a really long list of good opportunities to meet famous people. Basically, because of my innate ability to walk up to anywhere, anytime, and ask them who they are or what they're doing. Leaving LAX airport in 95, leaving LAX airport, there was a band standing in the foyer, and my brother's like, hey, go ask them who they are. So I walk up to them, I'm like, hey, who are you guys? And they're like, Rage Against the Machine. I was like,
no way!
I was like, cool. Walked back over to my brother and I was like, Rage Against the Machine. And he did exactly what you just did. He was like,
what?
We ended up going through baggage and was going towards our departure lounge, and we sat at a cafe, and then they walked past and then just stopped and just started talking to us again. So we ended up sitting on a flight with them all the way from LA to Melbourne.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an opportunity. That's so awesome.
Yeah. And then they're like, hey, here's some tickets, come to the big day out.
So the first concerts that I ever performed, like not like a school concert or anything, the first concert with my first band that I ever performed, the first song that we did, we wanted to do a cover song to get the crowd on our side, because we had no material out, nobody knew who we were. I was like 17 at the time, so we're these infants in the metal world, and the first song we played was "Killing in the Name Of" by Rage Against the Machine, and awesome. that will be a moment forever ingrained permanently in my head. So the fact that you got to meet them and then have a whole flight with them.
Tony Hawk sitting next to me, and Rage Against the Machine in front of us.
Where were you going?
From LA to Melbourne.
This?
Just from LA to Melbourne.
This was the same flight. You had Tony Hawk and Rage Against the Machine with you there.
Within like Tony Hawk actually sat next to me, and then my mum came up and said, "Actually, that's my seat. Can you sit on the other side?"
Piss off, Mum. This is Tony Hawk.
That's right. Go ahead.
Crazy.
Yeah, we were in the
front of economy, and then Tony Hawk was in economy with us, or that's coach, and then the door was right there for business, and then Rage Against the Machine were right there. So,
oh my God, I can't even imagine what that conversation would be like. 'Cause I'm sure all three of you, like, you were engaging with Tony and Rage, and it was like this. That's like you literally had MTV in its prime right there for you in this personalized tube just flying through the sky.
I sat with Rage probably the most, and went through Zach's CD stack. He carried a case of CDs like this fat, and he was just like these guys.
Jeez.
My mouth is open because of the fact, like, you've lived this. You didn't let anything stop you. You've been out there. You've been doing things. You were an inspiration, and that's not because you've met celebrities. That's just like the fun stories.
Yeah.
Like, you put yourself in situations that helped you be you. Oh man! All right, Raphael. I know I'm going to throw a random question. Give us a story, like, because you saw both of our mouths just drop. I know you have another one in you. Give us something that makes us go, "Oh shit!" Like, you're the coolest guest we've had yet.
Oh, that's hard. I mean, they're two hard stories to top.
Yeah, no, they are. Those pretty awesome stories, man.
I don't know anybody that knows Tony Hawk like that. And you're like, "Oh, Tony Hawk's here. My mom told Tony he's in her seat and to move." Like, that's awesome.
It's like, "Mom, what the hell are you doing? Get out of here."
Yeah.
Can't think of anything right now.
Oh, if you do, you gotta let us know. Have you been able to keep in touch with any of the people that you've met? Whether they're like top celebrities or even like some like lower tier ones. Like, have you kept in touch with any of these people?
I really do wish that I kept in contact with Michael, because unfortunately he asked me to go on the rest of the tour with him, which was still like 10 countries or something. And my mum was like, "Well, you can't because you're sick." And it was at that moment when I was like, "But I'm not sick." But I never actually said it. I just saw myself saying it. And at that moment, I was like, "Oh, now I really can't use my illness as an excuse, like, ever again."
Yeah. Wow.
My mouth is still open because it's just so cool. He's like, "Oh, I was asked to go on tour with Michael." You know, we shared the link in here for everybody. Do not hesitate to go over and watch that. Brett Gordon's already gone over and said how impressive that moment was. That's stinking cool. Let me bring your website up for everybody to share, and that way everybody could see it, to be able to know what you do. We were watching some of your short films earlier and all that, your music films about who you are, and you have this inspirational story of just positivity, and then you come on and you're just like this down to earth, unbelievably cool guy. And I'm in awe by you. So with your social media, with your visual media productions, tell us some of the stuff you've been working on and how you've been using it to build your platform.
This is some of my favorite stuff you've just pulled up right now. This was working for an Indigenous hip hop project, going out to communities and basically just doing like a 1 week intensive with the kids where, you know, we write a music song, a rap song with them, and then make a video clip. This top one, this rock hole one on the with the two kids in the blue.
Yeah.
That won awards for up in Northern Territories, which was super awesome. That was the first one I did with them. My visual production company is definitely me being able to work with people and help them develop what is important to them in a visual narrative. And I do definitely draw on my life experience to put myself in their position to help them tell their story visually. I try to do the same thing, whether it's commercial or music. I think it's really important for me to work with people on something that means something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't like to do work like just a chocolate bar ad. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to do a chocolate bar ad. I'd rather work on grassroots levels.
Why grassroots? What's inside you that's that has you know that grassroots is the essential? I agree with you. I just have to ask because of the fact that you've done a lot of cool things and you could easily have gone a different direction in life and you're like, no, the people matter. What made you decide to stick grassroots?
I think it was a bunch of things. One that just popped into mind is when it's all about the clout and about doing things for the sake of saying that you did that thing for that person or this person. There's no life in it. It's all about It's all about ego. And I was talking to my housemate and my girlfriend the other day, and just choosing films on Netflix. I really love choosing independent films with good stories, and because you get lost in the story, and it's not about how it's shot or if it's perfectly still or shaky or out of focus, but it's about what that story is and how that makes you feel. I was watching, something came on, and it was like it was the Superman Justice League.
Yeah.
My friend put on Justice League, and automatically all my brain was doing was looking at the technical aspect of how things were shot.
Yes.
Like, there's no story. I wasn't in there. I was like, okay, well, that's a really long steady cam up the stairs shot. Oh, next frame is this. Oh, that's that. Oh, how did they do that? And I'm like, I'm not in this story anymore. So when it comes to working with people, I need to be in there. I need to go, I can figure that out, and I know how to make that good, and I can tell your story.
Is there an independent film you've seen recently that really stood out to you?
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
I don't even know it.
What is it on? What is it about?
What is it about? Nope. It's what's his name? Who was in the first Transformers?
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. It's an independent Shia LaBeouf film where he's a troubled dude who's lost his brother, and parallel to that is a young man with Down syndrome who doesn't have any carers, so he's been put in an old age home. So they're both kind of causing trouble, and they're both on the run, and they meet up, and it's just a beautiful story of friendship and overseeing people's what would you call them, downfalls or imperfections, and it's all about acceptance and I believe like choosing your family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
And I think you guys would love that. You would love it.
Where can we watch it on?
Netflix, Prime.
What was the name of it again, just so we write it down correctly?
Peanut Butter.
That's
Falcon.
what I thought. I wrote
Peanut
Butter Falcon. Yeah. I thought I was like peanut butter. Thank you. Oh, I'm excited to watch that. Peanut Butter Falcon.
We'll see you in the comment section there.
Do you know them?
Not that I'm aware of, but they've said hi a couple of times, so I didn't want to interrupt the full conversation. But I also wanted to say hi to them.
I was like, they want to know about you and say hello. They're super into you. They don't realize we have celebrity here with like Mr. Raphael,
former Michael Jackson dancer, Tony Hawk fan or Tony Hawk friend, and newest member of Rage Against the Machine.
Newest member of Rage Against the Machine. Bulldog did have a question for the two of you guys, for everybody. What's y'all's favorite Disney animated movie?
It's either Lion King.
Ooh.
There was something about Aladdin just purely based on Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Like, I still get teary thinking about that.
Oh,
I mean, Moana.
Moana was also.
I love Moana. Yeah.
I would say, either. So I do love Aladdin, but it is strictly for Robin Williams.
Yeah.
So I would have that be a third place one. I guess my top two, it'd be a tie between Tarzan and Hercules.
Oh, they are way off the radar.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't see that.
If you want to talk about some like really amazing Disney movies that are like really like put under the rug, Atlantis and Treasure Planet were two awesome, very visually amazing movies.
Right. Yeah, I'll check them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love how Jessica Dugas throws in here. Oliver and Company. Have not heard that movie in years.
Oh yeah.
Brian Tracy says Lion King.
Lion King.
So I laugh because you guys say Aladdin, and I always choose Aladdin as one of my favorite movies for a Disney movie, and it's mainly because it's not about the princess breaking out of her like process and all this and finding herself. It's about the guy who stood up and had to find his best self and realize he's lying to everybody about who he is to become his best self. And it was like one of the very few Disney movies where the main character is a male that ends up being the lead at the end, like needing the change at the end. And so that's why I always related to it. The scene where Aladdin looks Jasmine in the eyes and says, "Trust me," and his hands out. I've spent my whole life picturing me saying that to people, just being like, "Hey, trust me." Aladdin just has great hair, you know? Other than that, though, I think the movie I relate to the most would be Lilo and Stitch of all Disney movies, and that's just because I think I'm Stitch, and that's where we'll leave that.
That's great.
You know, I'm an alien.
Like that. Yep.
So with all that you do, it's like 1 a.m. They're almost 2 right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You are still wide. You are wide awake. You're having fun with us. Raphael, what does a normal day look like? And like for Raphael, being a entrepreneur, being a leader that you are, doing the videos that you do, you have a lot of different things your hands are in. What does a normal day look like since you're sitting up at 2 a.m. with us right now?
Wake up, do nebulizers, which is just different drugs through a machine that vaporizes all the liquids. Go to the gym, breakfast, coffee, come to the studio, work away on whatever it is we're working on. And that's pretty much it for the rest of the day. And then go home and do more nebulizers, more food, and then bed.
Nice. So you do the nebulizers twice a day, then?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Have you noticed it makes a huge difference?
I'm on that many drugs. I don't know what does what anymore. It's serious. Yeah. Like there's a lot of preventative inhalers, nebulizers, vitamins, antibiotics. That it's like there's the gout, there's the arthritis, the diabetes, the lungs, the pancreas. So it's like you just take them all.
Now, how about this scenario? What if you were to have a world-renowned doctor come to you and say, hey, I have made this drug specifically for your condition. It's only been out for about a year now. We just finished testing a few months ago. I've had nothing but good results across the board. If you take this is just one pill. You take this and you don't have to take any of your other medications. Would you take it? Yeah. Even though like it has very minimum actual testing done.
It's worth a try.
All right. I like that. No hesitation.
Isn't that the same as the COVID jab?
In a sense, yeah.
I was avoiding asking that. I'm not allowed to ask that anymore.
Yeah.
Have you got your COVID jab?
I've been waiting. I'm eligible for it. I'm just like, I just had a flu shot, so I have to wait like 10 days before I can get the COVID one. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm not worried about it.
Interesting.
I'm not either.
You know, like just get it. Like, it's so funny because as soon as the government does something to protect us, like put us in lockdown for or something like that, everybody's like straight to they're trying to do this to us, but then it goes back to normal and they're like, oh, okay, they're not. You know, it's like they do it again. It's like they're against us again. It's like, oh no, they're not.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, at least here in American culture, you know, government control has been kind of ingrained into our culture, just like the paranoia of it. 'Cause, you know, we came over and then the first thing that we did was break away from our government and then make all these rules so that way they couldn't be in too much control again.
Yeah.
So it does make sense, but it is also comical how we freak out about things. And then we continue to freak out. And then, like, one by one, we, like, calm down. Like, all right, never mind. It's cool.
Yeah, but, I mean, we all obviously watched Zeitgeist, you know, once upon a time.
Yep.
You know, we all watched the same propaganda, the same way that your city, the American country was built, you know, the jail system. Like, I wouldn't trust your government either.
Yeah.
If I was...
Yeah.
I don't trust our government. But when it comes to like, I don't think what they're trying to do in the repercussions of COVID, but I do question where COVID came from in the first place. So like, you know, I can understand. You know, it was definitely genetically made. Whether it was released into the public accidentally or on purpose, who knows? Yeah. But you know, it is a thing that is out there. Yeah. If it's as bad as they say it is. That it's all debatable, but you know, I get a flu shot and that doesn't really, you know, the flu's still around.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And in all honesty, as far as because people have like issues with genetically modified and made diseases, and personally, I think that it's a good thing. That if we do that, as long as it doesn't get out, like if COVID was made in a lab and it stayed in that lab where they were able to constantly test and do studies on it and work on it and it never got out and turned into a pandemic, then they could have made a cure for that and found cures for many other diseases in a controlled environment. I could totally understand why.
That's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that, you know, it was made in a lab, but I don't think that there were malicious intentions behind it. I don't think it was supposed to be made as like a population control or a biological warfare.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we did get a question, and I think this is a good question for this. How would you advise somebody to tell their story to people who don't know them? Like, how would you advise people start to get their story out there?
You got to figure out what your story is. So for me, like writing my album, my music album, I said to myself, I want to make a music project that is going to be purely for educational use. You know, coming back to music, I was like, okay, I figured it out. I want to tell my story in a non-commercial way, something that's going to break the barriers of how to do what I'm trying to do. And I think if you can figure out that part of your story of the why do you want to tell your story? Figure out why you want to tell your story, and then the rest will come.
Yep.
Because I think the why is really important rather than what was the actual question?
How do you get your story? Like, where do you start your story? How do you start your story?
Yeah, figure out why you want to tell your story. What's your purpose? And once you have your purpose, then the rest will come, because that's so many people are like, oh, I want to do something, and they're influenced by something, and then they're just emulating and not actually really being honest to themselves and telling their story.
Yeah. And then after that, you find a platform, and then you work on marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. So Jessica Dugas's comment really quick, the Breakthrough Show, she's always here all the time. We love her in her comments. I said, have I not watched Jurassic Park? I have watched Jurassic Park. I've seen them all. I love the movies. If you notice, though, in those movies, we are in control until we're the ones who screw up. We're in those movies, it's always the people who do something to cause the biggest issue. Like they always let the dinosaurs out, they turn off the power, they open up the huge gate instead of the small man-made door there in the latest one for whatever reason. So, but it's not the dinosaurs themselves that were breaking out. It's not the disease itself that's breaking out of the labs and spraying out everywhere. It's human error somewhere along the way.
Oh, is that what that? Okay, yes. I see where she was going with that. Yeah. That's my point, though. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. It kind of reminds me of people with self-sabotage.
Yeah.
They create all this stuff to happen, and then it happens, and then they're like, it broke me. And I'm like, of course it broke you.
Yeah, you did it to yourself.
You did it to yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But I don't think that I don't think we should live in fear, though, about things like that. Because yes, there are people who do self-sabotage. There are people who would take advantage, but at the same time, there are so many people who won't and who would more benefit. You know, I do think that the risk is oftentimes worth the reward in these huge scenarios. Like, yes, this was a bad scenario where a pandemic happened and we lost a lot of lives. We are still coming out of it, and it's going to take a long time to recover from it. But it wasn't the end of the world, you know.
Yeah.
Like, there were a lot of benefits that came from it too. Like, I'm sure, Raphael, I'm sure you've worked on so many projects, not only externally but internally.
Well,
because of COVID.
You know, I live like this regardless of what happens. You know.
Yeah.
And I was living with people I knew who somewhat the same. But as COVID happened last year during lockdown, you know, I stayed doing this while everybody's sort of started doing this. Yeah. And because they started doing this, they felt like me doing this was too much for them, you know? Yeah. And then me feeling that made me think that I'm being extra. But really I was just being normal. But everybody else was going down, which made them feel uncomfortable, because I was still positive, but that also made me feel negative because they made me feel that I was being too much.
Yeah.
So in that time, so many people had a short glimpse into people who live life with conditions or illnesses, which is, there was definitely a massive awakening over since the last year and a half, where people have had insight to other people who are less fortunate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, like I said, a lot of people, they took this time to, you know, they either went down, like you said, they stay at the same level, or some of them choose it to shoot up and figure out, okay, what do I need to change in my life, because I am being cut off from society and I am unhappy. Why am I unhappy? Well, obviously must be something with me. So how do I fix that?
100%. 100%. There was something that you guys were talking about earlier about belief systems.
Yeah.
About things that, you know, I just wanted to touch on it because the other gentleman was talking about it, and it made me remember about how when I was young, I created a lot of belief systems about my health, being telling myself that I was healthy and strong. So when I got to about 35, I wrote my album, and had.
Uh-oh.
I'm blaming Gavin.
Okay. Nothing happens if you blame me. I don't develop leprosy or something.
Okay.
Hey, he's back. He's back.
Oh, he's back. There he is.
He's back. He blamed me for you for the connection issue, and I was like, all right, well, nothing happens.
That's okay. I'm here.
Yeah, you can blame me. He's back. So you were talking about when you were younger, and you had thought the belief systems of your illness.
Yeah. So when I got older and I wrote my album, I looked back and I realized that I created, even though the mindset that I created about myself and the way I was and the things I believed in, even though they may not have been real, the fact that I created them and believed them and lent on them and got me to the point B, therefore they were real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they may not have been real. So I think that was so interesting that he brought up the whole belief systems, because if you believe then they're real, then they are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do think that it's definitely strong enough, and I'm sure that you firsthand experienced it, that it affects you on a physical level.
100%. Yeah. And then during the writing of my album, I went into hospital for the first time in 15 years. So after Michael Jackson, that was the last time I was in hospital. For 15 years, I was like, God. No more hospital. Yeah.
Did you ever look at your mom and say, hey, I should have went on tour?
Yeah, definitely I have.
Yeah.
And they're like, but you were sick. And I was like, yeah.
Really. Obviously.
Yeah. I was all right.
Michael Jackson's a healer.
Yeah. So is Raphael.
Yeah. There we are.
Oh, perfect. Ooh. So we actually, near the end of our shows, we end every episode the same type of way. And we want to start by thanking you, Raphael, by being here today, being a part of this, having some fun with us and all that. But the way we end the shows, we give everybody inspiration to help them get through the day. First person today that's going to go is going to be Brett Gordon, because he's not expecting it. And after that, we'll have Gavin, me, and Raphael. You're going to take us out with the last word of the day to give everybody inspiration and help them know that it's going to be worth it to build their best self. Sound good? Awesome. Mr. Gordon.
Okay, I'll go with kind of always question your BS. And when I say BS, I'm saying question your belief systems, question your bullshit, because that which you believe is that which is true to you. That which you believe, as Raphael is saying, is what is your reality. So create your reality, because perception is reality, and question that BS that's holding you back. That bullshit that wasn't yours, that somebody impressed upon you, that you heard from the media, that you heard from your friends, that you may have heard from your church or your parents. Is it really empowering you today? And always, always, always evaluate them, because it's through those belief systems that you filter everything that comes to you in life. And the more empowering your belief systems, the more empowering your life.
I love that. So what I want to talk about, actually, it's a long lost question in this in today's episode that we forgot to bring or get back to. So I'm going to make it a challenge for. Oop, that was strange. So I'm going to make it a challenge for us. I want you guys. I want everybody here who's watching, listening, who's in the show itself today, to think about the seeds that you have already planted for your garden that is your legacy. And then 2, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered by? What do you want to be the story that people tell after you pass? And how long do you want people to be able to tell that story for? So that's my challenge for you. Think about your legacy. What have you added, and what do you need to add?
So I actually am going to run with what Gavin and Brett were just saying, but go into another level of it. Patience. Just because you planted a seed, are you watering it? Did you plant it in the proper soil? Did you put it on rocky soil? Or did you actually take the time to nurture, take care, and love that seed that you planted? Because the truth is, you could plant as many seeds as you want, but if you don't take the time to actually nurture them, love them, water them, they're never going to grow. Be patient and build the best you through the seeds you plant.
Wow, they were all really amazing. And I just want to say to everybody, just have compassion for people, because you don't know what somebody else is going through. And we've all got some type of struggle. So think just about how you'd like to be treated and pass that on.
Very well said. Absolutely. Very well said. Guys, go give Raphael, I've shared his website. I've shared his links. I actually, when I clicked on his video, the one that Raphael was talking about the rap group for those kids, I didn't even get 30 seconds in because I didn't know it was playing in the background, but it was in my headset. Guys, go give it a listen. It catches you right off the bat. It's really stinking cool. Raphael, thank you so much for being an amazing human, and stay you, because you're such a good guy. Yeah. Guys, do not forget to follow Raphael on his Instagram as well. Let me put that right here for everybody.
There's two little guys there.
I saw it come in right at the last second. There's two of them there, you said?
Yes, Raphael Recht Productions and Raphael Matisiahu. So one's like motivational music, life with cystic fibrosis, and one's just visual content that I make for other people.
I love it. I love it.
I'm looking you up right now.
So give him a follow, give him a subscribe. Watch him change the world around him, because you never know who he's going to be on stage with next in dancing. You might be watching him dancing with Usher soon. All right, guys, everybody have a great... See, look at the face. He's like...
He's so tall, man.
Great one. He is. He actually is tall. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and I wish you all nothing but the best. Thanks, guys.